It's a bright day generally. You should have a bright mood. You should have a positive. Everything should be positive generally. Yes, but the fact is, by now, if you have not achieved, let's say 90% of your goals, chances are high you're not going to achieve 90%. So there is literally nothing you can do now. So yesterday I was in a meeting. I was in a meeting with the guy I planned to be my DOP. I worked with him when I was at campus. He shot my short film, and he was telling me that I now yatuuka. He used to stress about stuff, but that he got to a level where he no longer stresses about stuff. Like if things will work out, And of course, he's in his late 40s. I think this is one thing that happens when you get to your 40s. You start knowing that some things are actually out of your control. And yeah, when we are younger, like when we are younger in our 20s and early 30s, we stress a lot about life, and we think we start even thinking that over everything that is going wrong in our life is actually our fault. Sometimes it's not even our fault. You know, sometimes things can go wrong in your life because your dad or your mom made the wrong choice. Your dad treated people bad, like we were talking about yesterday. Yes, yesterday. Like we were talking about yesterday. So sometimes things can go wrong in your life because of something that your ancestors did. It's a fact. Like the people that come from that come from royal family, some of their lives are a little easier simply because they are born in the royal family. And some of us, we were born from peasant families, so yeah, we need to struggle a little bit more. So, but I hope you guys are good. Joshua, good morning. Good morning, Africa Carota. Good morning, Pade. Good morning, Moses Heath. Good morning, Karim. Good morning, Said Mukose. Yes. Good morning, JK. Good morning, Salmin. Good morning, Isaac. Good morning, Modric. Isaac, Ani, Pade is flattering. Ngampita Dr. Arthur, who made us love cars. Katu guys akatomanya na flattery. When one time you will get flattered ojana kutia. People can flatter. Me, I know some dude that flatters. Gaya flattering anakubira nengalo. Naga na yoli wakabi. Eh. We both know that it's like people have people give themselves a lot of importance, thinking that okay, if I were not in a relationship with you, things will be different. What? That person will still be moving on. They will probably be happier than they are when they are with you. But yes, there are chances that they would have met someone that made their lives miserable. But who knows if you're the one that is making their lives miserable? Yes, Modric, then Hashim, Vincent Ongaba, Deep in Coffee, good morning. Aban, Anana, you say hello again. So that's Aban's little brother. And he keeps saying that I disturb him. Was I disturbing you? What was I doing?
You were disturbing me.
Doing what?
You were disturbing me.
Yeah, so Pius Lubowa, good morning. Harbat, good morning. So yesterday we were having a meeting, and I realized that it's very good to follow your gut. Follow your gut, always follow your gut. Okay, at least majority of the time. Sometimes your gut will not make sense, sometimes it will make sense, sometimes you just have to follow your gut. I've realized that so many times when I didn't follow my gut, I end up messing up. When you mess up and you not followed your gut, you don't even know you're messing up. It dawns on you much later that, oh, I messed up. So we are working on shooting a TV project currently, and unlike last time, this time we have to look for locations. And the funny thing is, we are being charged 800,000 and above, 1.5 per day to hire a location. And we need to shoot for about 3 to 4 days. So that's about 3.2 for 4 days. Well, how did it get me to thinking, to knowing that sometimes it's nice to follow your gut? I'm going to get to that later. Film is expensive, by the way. Film is expensive, so that's just the location. And by the way, there are people that pay more. Some people pay more than that. You'd find that some people pay about $300 a day, and then you still have to pay for power. Then you still have to pay for water and stuff like that. And yeah, following your gut is very important. So how are you guys? How is your Thursday? So today we are already 9 days into November. Before you know it will be December, and before you know it will be 31st December. Good morning, Chris Fitness. How are you today?
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I hope you are doing well. Today is a bright day, so you need to have a very positive attitude. It doesn't matter what you're going through. You definitely need to be very, very positive. But sentence with all that big investment. I know people that have not made money at all, and they have kept investing. You get Yusuf Sulaiman, good morning. Kamia Edward, good morning. Muna Chris Fitness. Film is like any other business. Yesterday I saw a video of traders complaining about how they pay about 130,000 every day for a room, and then they have to pay their employees, about 2 employees, 15k. So they spend basically 20,000 each employee per day. That's about 40k, and that's 170 already. Then they have to eat. They didn't even count the transport to get them from home to the shop. The expenses were basically too much, and they said we literally don't make any money. You are to income tax. By Ragnar. And they were saying, this guy was saying, like, before you wake up you will realize that you have not been making any money, because send is spending on nakuzokazoka tonagatako the bread you're taking home, tonagatako stuff you have to take anything home, tonagatako the expenses at home and all that. Charles and Kugwa, good morning. So well, Quiz Fitness, every business is funny. It's you just have to know how to calculate it. For me, I took a very long time before entering film production, because it never really made any sense to me. The short films that you will see that I did my student film when I was at MOOC. What did I call the short film? Yeah, but it was my real life story, how I almost missed a flight. But in this case, in the short film, the guy actually misses a flight. And yeah, I invested around 2013. I tried to produce TV shows, and I tried to pitch to NTV. I told you that story of how I never really got, and then that's the last time I produced. I was always into producing sitcoms, so even then I did not get successful. I had invested, I don't know how much money. I lost all that money, and yeah, then I decided that okay, I'm going to give myself a break, because it doesn't really make financial sense to me. It doesn't make business sense. So I gave myself. But along the way, I realized that whether it's film or not, every business is tricky. Whether it's film or not, every business is hard to calculate. I'll give you an example. The gym I go to, we used to pay 2,000, and we used to be too many. Like you'd go to the gym and literally have no place to breathe. Now we pay 3,000. The number has reduced. There's another gym that's much better. They charge 5,000. They really they don't get any customers. But and it's not that they are bad business people. The charges are okay. They are very affordable. But one of the reasons that probably the gym that charges 5k doesn't get people is because it's not regular when they open. With their opening hours. I've driven there myself sometimes, and I found that they are closed. So I decided, okay, why am I going to this place to pay 5,000 and find them closed if I can go to their place where I pay 3,000 and they are always open? Now, when you look at the gym business, for example, it's the person that used to get about 20 people a day now gets 10. 20 people at 2,000 will translate into 40k. 10 people 3,000 translates into 30,000. Now the question is, would you charge 3,000 and get 10 people, or charge 2,000 and get 20 people? That's something that only that person can decide. You get it? So it's also tricky. Now then you ask yourself, how much does this person pay for rent? Then she has an employee, one employee. How much does she pay this employee? Then how much does she pay in licenses and all that? So then those are questions that definitely you may need, that only the person that is in the business will be asking themselves. But film centers zivayo if you know the right market. About knowing the right market, about knowing who is buying. So if I invest all that and my product gets bought, I can make more money than a person that has a shop in Chikubo. If it doesn't get bought, I lose more money than the person that has a shop in Chikubo. So it's you risk it all to get it all. And probably that's why artists end up being celebrities, because it's not easy for you to invest in the arts. Good morning, Derek Lule. Let's do this. Arthur, you should bring back the topic of home construction. I feel you are equally good in that direction. we shall talk about that as well. I had reserved that for the podcast. To see me, Eddie, good morning. Abe, good morning. Brian Wanyama, good morning. Yeah, it's Thursday. Mainyenda kuziduka. Ziduka. That's a very nice view of the sky, right? It has been a long time since we saw that blue sky. The blue sky with the clouds, the white clouds. It has been a very long time since we saw that, right? That's a very nice view. I don't know if you guys are seeing exactly what I'm seeing, but if you're seeing exactly what I'm seeing, then you guys are enjoying the view. Besides, our topic today is follow your gut. Follow your gut, guys. Me, I've realized in life, some of the biggest losses I've made were because I didn't follow my gut. Some of the biggest losses I've made were because I did not follow my gut. The podcast is coming, Karim. Ne Justin T. Emirimu michali mingi ku office. Emirimu michali mingi ku office, and I literally have everything that I need to do the podcast. Emirimu michali mingi, and my first guests bali bakyaganya okujja. Like ngana bote banna bakola budde. They hadn't created time. So omanyi bulwenkupira my first guest ngatana bakumpa time. After I took time and I watched New Crown 2023 by Toyota on YouTube, but man, yeah, Kabi, if you get time, try search it. It will not reach Uganda because the Ugandan market, these dealers don't bring luxury cars. No. They bring cars that people will buy. That's why you realize they targeting a government. They bring the double cabins, they bring the drones. For the general public, they bring Starlets, they bring Corona Cross, they bring Rumion. At Suzuki, for example, they have the Suzuki, the Grand Vitara, which is a 1.5 liter. They have the Suzuki Jimny, which is a 1.3 liter. Then there is a Suzuki. So they simply bring cars that you guys will buy. The Suzuki Grand Vitara is a mixture of luxury and fuel economy. They know that Ugandans are all about fuel economy, so they're not going to be bringing cars that I've had multi-choice is giving in excess of 20k per movie. Is it true? I have no idea. I've not sold a movie to them, but well, that's the market we all want to tap into right now. Every filmmaker, every artist wants to try and tap into the multi-choice market because it's big and it's available. They literally need content. They need content. They cannot do without our content. Now it's about you investing in the content, and that's why normally you'll find that location scouts are charging in excess of 1 million per day for a location. So if you're going to be shooting a movie that will take you 3 days, that means you need 3 million for a location alone. You calculate cameras, you calculate the crew, you calculate lighting, you calculate actors, and definitely then you realize that simply producing a pilot show will cost you a lot of money. But this is money I spent even on the cafe pilot. Like I shot the cafe pilot in 2022 around August, yeah, and we only got to shot to sell the show to DSTV in August 2023. So these are risks that people have been taking for a very long time. You just have to be very calculative as you do those things, even in film. Very calculative with their businesses. If you got your money, can't they bring it? Yeah, you can. They can definitely bring it. But for them, I'm not sure they will bring it to the showroom. Yeah, it's of course you can't buy it from Toyota directly. If you went to Toyota and say I want a 2023 Crown, then they'll say we have a dealer in Kampala, so go buy through the dealer. Yeah. Arthur, how reliable is the Suzuki Jimny and its maintenance? Now, those cars are actually, Suzuki's are very reliable cars. It's just that you need to understand that maintenance is not as simple as the RAV4. Whatever, right now, actually, every car might turn out to be expensive depending on how much you earn. Which, yeah, so someone was telling me, a friend of mine who lives in Gayaza. He lives in Gayaza and he drives a RAV4 to town every day. And he was telling me how one of his neighbors failed to drive a Raum to town. A Raum! For God's sake, a Raum! So it depends on how much you earn. So you just have to understand that Suzuki will not be maintaining a Suzuki will not be like maintaining a Corolla or maintaining that Ipsa that is coming. But if you really want the Jimny, then go ahead and buy it. It's a very reliable car, very good car. It's also different. So that's probably one of the reasons why people buy different cars and they end up not buying Toyota. They want to be different, and you can definitely be different. Good morning, Arthur. Please, Mitiana isn't bad as you portray it. There are good schools like Royal Giant from my former school. Mitiana, I've not said Mitiana is bad. I went to Mitiana Trinity College, and Mitiana Trinity College in my time was better than Royal Giant. Isaac Mink, we used to beat Royal Giant in football. We used to beat Royal Giant in netball. We used to beat Royal Giant in performance. So the school Mitiana Trinity College was better than Royal Giant. It's just that now I don't know what is happening to the management. Of course, it wasn't the best because it was bursary. But of course, now when I think about it, the times when I didn't wear that A-level, you need to understand the Bango Bake Mitiana, Niba Ningenda to St. Lawrence Sunday. And at that time, St. Lawrence Sunday was also a big school. Nenegobe Sunday. Zengevia Sunday, Sibi Sobola. One of the conditions those guys in Sunday had was that Kambabulide. Let me try to paint for you what we did in Mitiana. In Mitiana, Nganyambala buli chenjagala. Mitiana ngandira mu Jowowe. We used to call it Jowowe, dishes, big dishes. Mitiana, we had influence. The cooks were our friends. The scaris were our friends. Literally every teacher was my friend in Mitiana. So I could eat whatever I want. I could put on my vests and move around the school. Put on my sandals and move around the school. Put on whatever jacket I wanted. Put on my jeans. During prep, we would sit with girls. So bango Mitiana ngende St. Lawrence Sunday. I reached Sunday, St. Lawrence. Askari yansa zake envidi. Like, how in the hell does Askari have the authority to make a student cut off hair? Askari yansa zake envidi. Nenguma nengamba bangobye Mitiana tena akolachi. Nenguma I got enrolled. I went to the dormitory. So in the evening, we are going for supper. I come out of the dorm with my vest, my jeans. Everyone is looking at me strange. Niyo mwana ndoza najjayo obuvumu nankwatako nangamba olagawa. Nemugamba tugenda kulya mmere. Nangamba mu vest na jeans. Nemuga, what's wrong? That's when it dawns on me. I look around and every kid is not, no one is in a vest, no one is in a jean. Nangamba gendo yambale uniform. T-shirt mbune empale ya gento. Saina pale ya gento na ina jeans zange. So I went and put on a sweater. It wasn't a school sweater. I come back. Guy stops me again. He says, guy, I need a gum on to sweater. Oh, you have to put on a uniform, a school sweater. Ningamba sonda na soboka. Ninga kangene ndiye mmeli. I go get my dish. So as I'm moving where they serve food, guy stops me again. I said, this guy, the guy says, the guy, one to lead up so one is a boom. And a guy bamanyira no kumanyira. So one ye boom kutotia ku so one ye boom. For we are used to getting dishes and piling food in there. So one ye boom. Nengamba se jabili I went to the canteen and kwanze nali newerera. Nga nyina akasente kange. Nengenda ku canteen nengula ebyokulya. Nengamba kanguma olwali nenguma. Nembera tutuka mu prep. Ndaba ka baby akalungi. Ngenda ntula kumpi na konta ndiko kubaako byebigambo byenkasuka. Ngenda okulaba abawala batudde eno abalenzi batudde eno nze mulenzi atudde mbawala. Class monitor najja nangamba, you man, go sit where you are supposed to sit. Like there was a division. Girls this way, boys this way. That is one thing I had never seen in my life. Ochitegera. Nentula mbalenzi nenguma kwolo. The next day, you can pay for the uniform. I went and paid for the uniform. Now this is never school fees. And that is day 2. Sunday was day 1, Monday was day 2. And day 2. I did not eat their lunch because me, I can't eat food on a plate. A plate? For us, we were used to eating food in a dish. It was a lot of... Then there were the... But in the Smania Abana also medicine and middle. Omwana nga mulenzi nga jane so nga kulika kaunga katono bwe kati no bujanjalo fe nga tugende mitiyana wade twali kubasare nga tusasula sente entono nga dishi ya fejulate nateka mu oguwunga ne bayiwamu ebijanjalo otegera ne supu nga mungi kati ng'omwana ayitawo nga alina akaswani buno obuswani bw'ebbumba mubumanyi kulika akawunga katono bwe kati n'otujanjalo. And I was thinking, how do these guys live? So the very first day nabeerawo Sunday, Monday sagenda ku kitchen yabo kubanze siyagala bitu bya kukumalako mirembe sirya bumeremere. So I used to eat my food from the canteen. Otegera naye even when you're moving in the compound, there are guys be looking at you when you talk to a girl. So that's why I was there. Nembera ku Lwokubiri, which was day 3. Day 3 kati abana ntandika babuuza omuntu atoloka atya ne baga no toloko wa boda ya kulopa ne bamuwase ngamba chiwedde. So on day 3 I was already plotting how to get out of that place. Na ine simu yange. So I went and packed my things in the suitcase that day very well. Nengena ngambuuza abavubuka abalo ne mbabuuza bo toloko wa boda ya kulopa. Everyone confirmed nti buli wa boda na mugongo ali ku payroll y'essomero gwe wakulopera bwati ngo otolose. Nemberawo break time I was there. Nayagala ntoloke nga bampadde uniform yange naye tebagimpa. So at lunch time nenguma nenkwata ebitabo byange nembisa mu nsawo. St. Lawrence Sunday, for the guys that know Sunday, the boys' dormitories are across the road, the school is across the road. I don't know if it changed, but at that time. So during lunch time nenguma nenkwata ebitabo byange nembisa mu kavera sayina nga nsawo. I've never nsawo ngendo jigula nga ndi ku campus. And at in Edeva I really had the money. So but during lunch time nenva mu domu z'abalenzi nentambula sayingira ku somero natambula ngenda Sonde mu town. Everyone was looking at me. Gwe guy bagenda kulopa nembaga mmwe nyini mugende mu ndope bangobe sijja kusobola mbeera ya wano abawala batula wa abalenzi wabwe muri abumere okitegeera. So what I did is that nentambula the first border I saw ne muyimiriza ne mugamba gwe guy bangambye ababoda mulopa abatolose nangamba ne mugamba ntwala nfune taxi wo maro jondo ope ne muwana amanya gange ne mugagenda ondope bangobe nze nali embeera sijja jimira. The moment I got into the taxi, I removed my phone from the pocket. I called the HM at Mitiana Trinity College. Bali bamuyita Mr. Ziraba. Fetwa mwitanga Ije because he did not really say the word Ije. He used to say Ije. So I called Ije and I told him, Mr. Ziraba, nchimanyi wangobye naye nsaba kudda. Namugamba nsaba kudda. Amazima embere ya St. Lawrence Sunday nali sigisobola. Ne mugamba kati kyesamanya bwe bangoba emitiyana. I was popular at school. I was really popular. Bwe bangoba ku ssomero n'abasomesa ndoza ne beekyanga mao ne batuuza HM omwana ogobye waaki. Okitegera I was very popular. So ndoza bwe mukubira nga n'akaliro ku ssomero kabadde kayitiridde bwe namukubira n'angamba jangu twogere bwe natuuka ku ssomero ntuuka Emityana gayita nnyega naye nagenda n'owa special nafuna owa special kabuusu obwangwe kuba gayi yaŋŋamba jangu before school closes ate zaali 7:08 nga there was no way I was going to take a taxi ebiseera bye boda tazaali tezigenda wala nga nfuna special haya namuwa $5,000 ano ogwo mwaka gwenjogerako is 2008 twaite tunajerisaalinga for UNEB nga ninja special nga mugamba nzirusa ng'omukisa genge kyokka kyenjagala kunziza gye bangobye engeri esonde sisobolayo ate engeri gye kyali ekube esonde ebiseera ebyo the HM yali amanyi jjajja kati ensonga engeri yokka gye nali nsobola okuyingiramu essomero eddala gwe bagobe kusomera eddala ojjota ku ddala okitegeera kati jjajja yakubira HM nanga ndoza ye namugamba omwana atulemeredde biki byonna bye yayogera essonde ne bampa naye nze ne neegoba essonde nenkubira HM eminyam nga mukama wange nzija nangamba jangu nenfuna special kati wa special ne mugamba omanyi nninda gayi ayinza okuŋŋaana okukola ki nemba nga nsobola okudda essonde neegayirire ntuuka Emityana gayita nnyega ndoza nga ye gayi mukuŋŋamba jangu ye era agayikomawo osome nga mbeera ku ssomero ng'owa boda owa special nninda ziwere ssaawa 11 gayita nnyega ng'owa special muwa ssente ze ng'agenda saalina bintu jukira keesi nali njiresa essonde nga mbeera Mityana nga nfunayo akasente saalina na sente by the sente zaali zimpeddeko awo nalina kyali wange kato God rest his soul nga mugamba omanyi Arthur ayina okukomawo with the bank nga tukola welcome back Kisenyi Camp naye gwe abasomera amasomero gaffe ag'abanaku tulina engeri gye twanyumirwanga mu life saalina sente naye nga tusawo n'ekirabo kye tutayina omuwanguzi agenda kuwangula oba emitwalo 5 naye saazirina tetwaziba oba twakikola tutya mukama yamanyi ng'abaana basamba mupiira senior 1 versus senior 4 simanya bikoze biti oba senior ki yawangula ndoza senior 1 ye yawangula naye senior 1 baali bangu bakubuzaabuza tetwabawa birabo oba twalina emitwalo ng'esatu egyali gisigaddemu nga tubabuzaabuza actually we did it like this abaana bamala okukola tournament yali ya nnaku 2 the next day katonga ngamba omanyi Arthur sente zibuze naye tukoze tutya kyoba okola funa mpa wallet nga wallet yanganjimuwa nga temuli yadde 10 ng'afuna jaji kasuka eyo nkeera ku makya nga bannaye babbye wallet yange nga ngamba bayi wallet bagibbya yabbye wallet yange mulimu sente za tournament zonna okitegeera nga tunoonya wallet katoye yagigwa nako kumbe yagitereseeyo nga agwa ku wallet nga wallet nkalu nga gabanange yabbye wallet mwabbye sente za tournament nga tournament nnewedde naye sente za tournament zakoze eki nga sente za tournament nga zibuliraawo nga nzira Mityana nga nsoma waayita ennaku nga 3 nga ngende essonde nga ngende wa HM nga ne HM okumanya nga bano abaana baali banimba owa boda bwe yantwala ndooza yatya okundoopa gwate muntu kyakugamba genda ondoope teyandoopa ntuuke wa HM nga tamanya nga nakumanya nti natoloka nga mugamba HM omanyi nze banziriza ekifo kyange Emityana ngenda nga ngamba genda ne suitcase yo nagenda tuka mu suitcase nga abaana babyemu ebintu byange but I did not care nali nzize Emityana nali mponya okulira emmere ku sowaani y'ebbumba nga nzizeyo okulira ku dishi nze Emityana saasimbanga na layini essonde nga nyino simba layini Emityana natuulanga wenjagala essonde ng'otuula mu balenzi Emityana nga bwenjagala sisoma purepu essonde nga mulina mwasomanga olweggulo ffe nga Emityana w'oyagalira w'ofulumira Emityana purepu z'okumakya nga ffe tuzuukusa bannaffe mugende musome ffe ne twebaka naye ate saagala mulowooze nti nagwa nze omukube baatimba omanyi be batimba nti bayise nnyo ku erevo bantimba wadde nagwa GP naye ate saagwa GP nti nali musiru ekyansula GP kyali kimu I did not follow instructions GP namufunangamu 99 katutuuka ku UNEB baleeta ka question ka composition nga kangu saasoma instruction nti baagala ebigambo 7 ndooza ebigambo 7 byali mu paragraph esooka kyekyansula GP kyokka not following instructions but anyway that is the story of how I went back to Mityana nga bangobyeyo neegoba essonde waliwo mbeera kati nze nava mu senior 1 nga namanyira lira mu dish mu senior 5 yali senior 5 yali senior 6 ng'etandika atonzize mu kulira ku sowaani y'ebbumba ate nalina amala kuba nze nali neeweerera nga mmanyi kyenjagala But anyway, muri mutya bannange bantu bange. Kansome. Pablo Henry gundi ono Isaac Minki arese story ye Mityana njagala nkulaga nti wali esomero eri aite limanyiro oyo giant Mityana Trinity College gireke na of course katisimanya abana abaliyo babanyumirwa fe twanyumirwa nga twayinanga ba director bali babiri nga ba Uganda kwaliko Sebuliba Isaac Minki bo baliyo myaka jange nga toli mwana muto oyinzo ba Sebuliba baliyo mumanyi baliyo ne Kauma Sebuliba yali agire ebintu nga bitambula Sebuliba ne bacyankana ne muganda wenso ngalachi Mityana eringa bweri kati kai ne luli yali yakabinga nnyo naye kakati. It's 6:30 AM here and the Bugumu live show gives me the courage to start my day. Big up Amina Pablo, how are you? Oli UK oli Europe je tusinga ke sawe ebbiri naye mu abantu bajoga wuli omwana crown mugiraba omuyaye mwayigidde kuliko ne kalana omukazi wuya ayigidde mu crown tasinika mannyo ayigidde mu crown oya batasobola moroka abiveka rawum era batasobola. Good morning Athan Colors, good morning Castle Patrick iganga kiri kitya Modric Thomas Ainebiona, good morning Derek Luley, good morning Arthur. You were like me. I even got a baseball cap similar to school trouser. We ended up fighting with the one day there. Atego wali mulalu nyonza atende dalu nali silituka nze dwele lyange lyabanga modesty nze kasitana lyange mmere nenzu kuta esonde twaite esonde waito inange lijjo kuta toyinza kulira ku sowani ya bumba nokuta tosobola olaba ne kakata akabobo mmere bwe bawanga abana besonde tebonzi kusatenga nkaddi sali wansasa ge Hashim na ye nali manyi kyenjagala bali badongo. Good morning Hanaba Amina Joema Tourism Phantom Soldier chechiriwo man 554. As a young boy, how did you get your fees at school yet you only had 1 month of holiday? Juma, one thing you need to understand is that nze wenasomera mu O-level tetwalina sente jjajja yasasulanga bitundu nga taamu gy'osoma musasulese mugenda osasula first term nga muli mu second term bwe bagoba fees za second term ng'omalayo eza first term abatalina bwagoba kuba oboolesa sente bwe bagobeza third term ng'oleeteza second term bwe nto bwe nasoma O-level naye A-level nze nali neewerera nga sente tezirwawo so awo mu A-level akasente ka fees nali nkayina buli nali nsobola okwewerera n'ebuddo mu A-level naye nali saagalayo emirembe gyali Emityana gogimanyi emirembe nze era natuka okwewerera nga nsobola okugenda mu lisomero lye nali njagala ne ngenda Emityana kuba gye nali nasomera O-level ng'Emityana waliyo there was a certain level of peace eyali Emityana eyali tegenda kuba ku ssomero lyonna era ndowooza bwe bangoba ne ngenda Essonde ne neegobayo. Arthur Sebo, tell you cause in boarding school at least it was 600k. How did you collect it in a month of a holiday? Ajuma nze natandika okutambula okugenda e Bulaaya nga nyina emyaka 16 era nga nzanya katemba wange ono gwe mulaba. I used to perform. If you want you can Google Arthur Kisenyi omulabe. Just omanyi normally when I tell you guys make the right friends for your kids beera n'emikwano ejiyinza okuyambako abaana bo okitegeere mikwano ejiyinza to inspire your kids naawe wenyini okuinspiringa nze family yange nza sente zinakwata nga ndi muto bali gye bazikwatangako so sisobola kubanenya but I would be one of the wealthiest artists in Uganda bana ntandika okukola nga nina emyaka 16 okitegeera but ezo sente nga bwe nazikola nga nze ndyandye ekintu ekyamanyi kye nafunamu nti nasobola okweweerera okitegeera I was focused kubanga nina abantu bangi bemmanyi abataalisomye naye neeweerera neeweerera A-level neeweerera Makerere then of course business zenakolako awo nga bwe zifa okitegeera so yeah but I had the money Juma. Me I wasn't collecting money, I had the money for A-level. For O-level ye jjajja simanyi bwe yakikolanga kyobula jjajja wange mwagala nnyo but for A-level the money was there. Bombo Road until Migadde Makerere High School Migadde nga irabikanga eri district naye bwe basomera the strictness erabika yakakati. Moses says, Arthur, you are just full of fun. Me, I went to St. Michael, which is next door, but I could not manage the school lifestyle. There, I left after 3. Aha! ekirungi gwe wennyini oyogedde nze amasomero agaliisa abaana ku sowaani of course kati batabani bange banjawulo bo basobololira ku sowaani z'ebbumba naye nze nali sibisobola nze nasomera emitiana twabanga ku basale naye nga seba abaana beegugunga emmere weeba tebakkota nga tusasula emitwalo 2 mu kisulo kuba gwe jjuma nga basasulanga emitwalo 6 simanyo mwasulanga emitwalo 6 gabanga amasomero ga bbeeyi nze mu senior 1 nagisoma 2003 in senior 1 nali mu kisulo nga nsasula emitwalo 12 kitundu mwe muddaawo naye nga tuli emmere ekaawa ebijjanjalo biba bikaawa and stuff like that kati bwe tugenda emitiana gyo wali wa bbeeyi mu nga tusasulanga 16 ne bagenda nga bongeza of course we nagenda osomera A-level nga nsasula emitwalo 3 kati ekisulo kyabanga kya 3 of course kati saawe nesomero emitwalo 3 biba lya layisi nnyo kati amasomero agali modest ga mitwalo 6 7 awo bwe watyo abaana baffe kati amasomero agasasula miliyoni ge masomero ga katugambe nga middle class awo bwe watyo naye eddange esomero erisasula miliyoni international school okitegeera. I think they tricked us on that GP paper because I also wrote more words than asked. Amazima went out of the paper. Auntie Kakati, Pablo, you are like me, you don't follow instructions. It's a very bad thing. I'm trying to train my son to make sure that he learns to follow instruction. Bangamba waba uga, bayinzo muwa butriki waba okuva ku one end of the pool to another end of the pool. Nayembu ye chimukolera kyakola. Kati that's one thing that probably we have to train our kids, Pablo, by go kugobera instructions. Okitegeera. Nze GPA chansula siteba tricking ati sasoma instruction. I don't even remember reading the instruction that says you are limited to 700 words. Nebo twafuluma paper bwetuti. N'abaana seba abali abagwagwa okunsinga. Nga bamanyi nti batugambye mu composition tuwandike ebigambo 7. Nze ndoza napandise ebigambo 12. Kubanze nzukira composition ya number 1. Na wandika full scarp nejjula n'ensaba endala ate full scarp muzijjuke zaba nena wandika naina omugambo nga muyitirivu the good high school days were the best efujjo lyabanga lingi naye nakuzina abaana baffe simanyi oba banyumirwa kuba naffe tetubakkiriza kunyumirwa twanyumirwa nnyo ffe nyine tetubakkiriza kunyumirwa naye nga simanyi oba banyumirwa ye mazima. But for us, we enjoyed. Ate fabage na masomero g'ekinaku. Fate twanyumirwa nnyo, there was no structure. Kubanga twabera nga masomero g'ekinaku nga n'abasomesa banaku. Kati omusomesa omunaku talina bwa-enforcinga mpisa mwana nga yamusasula. Olumu n'omusomesa yennyini tebamusasudde. Amasomero gaffe ge twasomeramu. Mukama ye yataasanga. Bale webale bajjukiza Derek. You people like the broadcast, you're 41, Nangi Kambajukize. I do pre-purchase inspection. If you are going to buy a car and you want to make sure you make the right choice, I am your man. I come with a mechanic and we make sure that you get the right car at the right price. We don't rest. We do that for 2 full days. And we make sure that for those 2 days, we are focused on making sure you get the right car at the right price. We charge a very small fee right now, which is 400,000. And that covers 2 days. It covers me and the mechanic to make sure that you get the right car at the right price. So pre-purchase inspection is very key when you're going to buy a car. It's like if you buy a car and you don't do that, chances are high into ogenda kutomera. With the knowledge I have and the experience that my mechanics have, you are bound to get the right car. Ebiseera ebisinga abantu abagula naffe emmoroka bazigula ku bbeeyi ya busuubuzi. Abaguzeeko naffe bo bakimanyi. We always sell bw'otuuka okutuna emmoroka yo tugitunda bbeeyi okusinga wagigula okujjako ng'opapye. The very good example would be the Spacio we bought with Nicholas in I think it was the beginning of this year. We bought it at 9.5, we sold it at 11.5, and the person that bought that Spacio is very happy. I'm telling you. Now, but actually, yo muntu yagigula 11.5. Bangambe bali bagala mu million 13 nazigana nga yagigula 11.5. So the cars that we help people buy are in we make sure that you get the right car at the right price. Bobo gule moroka nze mbanga nzagula emoroka je siyinza gula tojigula. That's one thing you need to understand. And I put all my experience to amafuta ga bay. I put all my experience to work. Actually okubabulira amazima omuntu omu ku bantu abali bannemye okuguza emmotoka twamulaga visitor adeyo last year nanyinyo naagaana okugituna nasigala nga agikola guy yatambula n'atambula after a year naddayo n'agula visitor adeyo gye twasooka okumulaga because emmotoka yaddamu n'azitambulamu n'asanga nga teri mmotoka yaleeta etuuka eri bulungi nandi agadde bw'aba ali ku broadcast yalize n'atubuulira okitegeera kuba yatutambuza nnyo netambula ennaku 3 nga tafuna mmotoka yeefuula ate yeyandetera ekintu ky'okusaako limitation ennaku 2 that the pre-purchase inspection is strictly 2 days because I realize that if someone doesn't get the car they are looking for in 2 days, they either don't have the money or they don't know what they want. And in actual sense that guy did not have money. We yatusumbuwe netambula ennaku 3. Twali naye at the same time twagulira Ipsam ya Brian, and Brian, you guys remember Brian giving us very good reviews here. He was very happy with his Ipsam. But Brian yomu ku bantu abafuna Ipsam eza racing esaawa eno n'oginoonya ne bweba ya million 6 togifuna naye twagiguloba million 5 kitundu okitegeera. So it's with our pre-purchase inspection service we make sure that you not only save money but you also save effort with your car. And one thing you need to understand is that I'm one person that will tell you this is the implication in terms of cost. Bonoba wa kuchigula no gulango ochimanyi ochitegeera. And one thing I normally encourage you guys to do is that when we are going to buy your car, try as much as possible to be really honest with me. Ongambe ata nyina sente bweziti ne njagala kuspendinga bweziti, because sometimes I know I've told you guys that you're going to buy a car and have to repair stuff, but sometimes the actual money you have can get you a car without doing any repairs. Neze bongamba sente gwe zoyagala okuspendinga, we may end up getting a car where you'll have to spend money in doing some repairs. Songa ate, if you told me the actual money you have, we would have been able to get a car where you don't need to do any repairs. But sometimes I'm trying to work within the budget. Like for example, if you told me I have 15 million, in actual sense you have 20 million, I'll end up struggling to get a car at 13 so that you have 2 million to repair the car, to put in minor repairs. So you would have gotten a car at 20, not wasting a time, and stuff like that. So normally when I'm doing pre-purchase inspection, I recommend that you be as honest as possible with me, so that we plan together. The fight we have is the fight of getting the right car at the right price. Yeah. So Checho pre-purchase inspection, I also sell car alarms. My car alarms are 210, and then we also sell tracking devices. Your car is your asset. Emoroka nebobo jiguze million mukaga jiteke mu tracker. Ezo million mukaga rojo kumanya nti nyingi emoroka bagikubyeko. Rojo kumanya nti million mukaga nzibu za kufuna. Ate majority of the time for us guys, olaba naba bedenga jeke na ese center azikunganya. Katorobo bato li mu bede ngolinga atha ate ffe tuzikung'anyiza ddala kati akasente koke wakung'anya kakulema okuprotecting olwokuba toyaga ateka mitwala anaga tracking device giteke mu motoka. Tracking device nyine ya 3.5 etaina maloboozi ne yana 5 okwosobola okukuba n'owuliriza abantu abali mu motoka kye boogera. So that's what I do. Morning Dr. Ranga banange mwe bagayi kambabwira laki podcast natandika nga Dr. Ranga yakatuuka. Podcast natuka because Dr. Ranga gwe nanijagala bere guest wanga asooka era yalinga busy naye kati yangambye he's available, so I'm going to sort everything and then we'll officially have our first podcast where Dr. Ranga will be the guest. Gwe nanijagala bere first guest wange yali akyali busy ntogera naye kati yakatuka ku podcast naye akitegere nti yali andemeso kola podcast. I want him to be my first guest. There are reasons why I want him to be my first guest ku podcast. Yeah, but regardless of that, today our subject is following your gut, and I was telling you that there is a reason why I've found that following your gut always is a very important thing. I don't know what the gut is, Dr. Ranga. What is the gut? What is the gut in psychology? And why is it that majority of the time when you follow your gut, you succeed in whatever you're trying to do? Why is it that it happens like that? Yeah. So Dr. Ranga, so from a professional point of view, nganange bwendeta why I think everyone should be following their gut. Juma, I'm looking for skits zimbuze. Isaac andabye nga jjajjaawe linda ko nyina comments missing ngenda kuzisoma when I can't so tudde ku bbala. I'm going to read those comments. Sugarcane JK omisinga sugarcane kale nze sirya bikajjo. I think I have problems with my teeth. Boliye bikajjo, there is something, that thing that goes through you. I even feed it now even without chewing the sugarcane. So I don't like sugarcane. Expulsion. Bakugobanga phantom. Jombo Juma Arthur Sebo tell you cause in boarding school afe twasasulanga asate kyonkizeemu Arthur okay eyo njimaze ne GP najimaze. Good morning Nick Wabuyi bana like the broadcast Arthur nkulabe munamo kadde kati next year I'm coming for pre-purchase inspection. Amina Bella muje ba abani banywa amata bana like the broadcast wabula muli bato. S1 in 2003 I sat my S6 in 2002. Sabo jeke nange ndi mukadde katata mu bana game myaka jabo wano jenda kutya abamu mwenzo wena tulida bwenali musina 2003 abamu bali mu P1 jeke. The people I work with at office nyino mwala gwenkola naye when nabere ne makerere yali mu P6 ne kati nkola naye okitegeera. So I have checked on Google. You even had dreadlocks. So Chirabye Juma. Zendi Wada. I'm from a long time ago. Yesterday there is one of the students I'm teaching digital marketing. He has dreadlocks. And I told him I had dreadlocks. But you know that there is also the story of dreadlocks, you people. Now I had dreadlocks from 2012 Nazisiba because I used to have afro. So after campus, I thought to myself, how best can I keep my hair on my head? Because one of the reasons I did dreads is abantu basaru ni bano mbaraba. Lera kusara bilala nencha na kusara bilala. So I was tired of that. Nenkola dreads from 2012 nazisarako in 2018. I cut off my dreads on my birthday in 2018. My birthday, I have 2 birthdays, but I did it on the unofficial birthday, which is 17th January. Ningena nensarako dreads, but I had thought about cutting off those dreads for like a year or 2, and I had made up my mind. Okumanya nali making up my mind. Nasaraka dread yezo, nensara ku office, ngabe nkola nabo be bamanyi nti nasazeke mbize nga sejjukira. I went back home, and it's only me who did not realize that I had cut off my hair. I had made up my mind. Munange Juma I used to have dreadlocks. Nazisarako, there was a time zali zikuzenga ziri mugongo zali mpanvu nnyo, and zakula to that level ngasikia sola kunaba mutwe gwange every day, and I like washing my head every day. Like I think a lot, so mutwe gutuka ne gubuguma ne guchamuka nga neta agoguna. So my dreads were too long and I could not wash them every day. I got tired nentuka ngambera nestuka nga nebo okola kyobera nestuka. Then the other thing was that whenever they would repair those dreadlocks, I would almost look like a woman, and I did not like that. Yeah. So good morning, Medi. I'm looking for skits, Zimbuzi. No, I have a short film called Dreams Crash. That's like the short film I did. The other shows that I did are not on YouTube because tomanya nyizo okuzizukusa. Katate wentu sensobola okuzizukusa nezinjira ddala. I love children who don't follow instructions. Those are the wise ones. I'm an educationist. I love them. Hey, Godfrey. You love them that na gwa GP nze yali omugezi mu kibina nga afunanga 9998. I got an F9 in GP simply because of not following instructions. Good morning Solo. Good morning Daniel. Onzize makabuzo kange. Ono Dr. Ranga ye first guest wange ku podcast. We are going to be discussing psychology. I'm going to post a post today. Ngasinda kola an appointment na Dr. Ranga so that you guys post all your questions that are to do with psychology, to do with mental health. Dr. Ranga, we told them it's the only time that you have to consult him for free. But you'll have to post the question and I'll ask the question the way it is, and Dr. Ranga will answer on the podcast. The podcast will be pre-recorded. Tetugenda kola podcast ya live because we want quality. Twagala quality nungi already mwe nyini mwangambye mwagala quality nga nungi. Sicho So we are going to pre-record the podcast. It will be very good quality. Suzuki Moses Sith, Arthur, did you look in the car phantom? I've not had the time, Baby Moses. I'm going to look. Bana minimum meeting. All of sinaba nagenda ku driving school je natandikira okola extension okusaba extension yange. Children who don't follow instructions question everything. Try out alternatives. It's a focus that drives success. So let me read the comments when I can. Naika chemba manya Dr. Ranga simanyi obonzizemu naye mbadde nkubuuzizza how you define the gut in the professional, from the professional point of view. What is the gut and what is the psychology behind following the gut? Just briefly tujafuna ukyogerako in our podcast, because I find it to be very interesting. All the times that I did not follow my gut, I lost a lot of money, I crashed psychologically. But every time I follow my gut, it might look like a very stupid decision, but I'm telling you, it works out. Now briefly, I'm going to tell you why I think that following my gut is always a very good thing. By the way, when I follow my gut, it works out very well. With gut. Like, of course, we back it up with information of an emoroka yenungi, the engine is okay and all that, but it always works out. It always works out. Like when we were looking for, you see the space you have told you, Yaya Nicholas. Space Yaya Nicholas, we mujiraba. Nti space ya Nicholas yo. The moment I looked at that, kanze my gut ne sarau. We kept going around, but I kept telling Nicholas today to gule space yeri. Ne makanika ngi yasigala nga agamba Nicholas tugende tugule space yeri. Ninga Nicholas ayagala fani kago. And trust me, kubamaka fana nyemoroka je wagula 9.5 year ago. No jitunda 11.5. Wade Nicholas yagano okwata simu zange nga tutunde moroka. Jaza ko mugulya nga njagala tubagaining atongera atusalire kono. Naga ne mwenza message ku WhatsApp. What is your last price on this car? Nicholas yagano nambulu tikinga. Era omusajja gutwagula ne moroka ne mugabu no musajja aleka atiddenze ku mubagaining. Ngataddamu message zange. As a matter of fact, see yakwata ne sente ezo. Yagana makanika we ye yakwata sente ezo. Yawe twatuka ntuwa makanika sente mweza message mga, you know what? Your mechanic has received your money. Nitugenda. Ekirungi ne transfer na jana natu logingira in natu wa transfer form. Okitegeera. But anyway, why should you follow your gut? Njaya soka kusoma question zamwe, because following your gut is like, I can summarize it in like 2 sentences, and then you will know why I think following your gut is very important, especially katufe abayiri bibe Kampala. Following your gut is very, very important. Nti naba bantu benyini nyini bogenda ko advising, they are also advising you based on their gut majority of the time, because Uganda is a country where we don't have information. Okitegeera. Ubos has information, but majority of the information there is not cannot be as useful as we want it to be. Nayona abana baboda bavuga one way ate babayo ga badduka. Kati oba Honda efudde ki? Mujira ba Honda eri ku UBE efudde. So we are talking about how following your gut is important. We live in a country where we are not exposed to information that will help you make decisions. For example, I'm currently working on an assignment with CIM, and in that assignment I'm supposed to basically plan for my company digital marketing strategy. And one of the challenges I have is that there is no information at all. There is no information at all to follow. But then someone take a call one. Good morning. Fine, sir. So there is literally no information for you to follow. There is no information for you to look at and base. Like information from research that was done like a year ago, 2 years ago. So if that information was there, marketing planning would be very easy for us. But it's not easy simply because we don't have information. This is why normally following your gut is important. Not from the film industry. You see, like I've told you, hiring a location can cost you up to 3 million, by the way, per day. hiring a location for you to shoot at. Now, Tyler Perry has what we call Tyler Perry Studios. You guys can go to YouTube and check out Tyler Perry Studios. This guy bought like 100 acres, I think, or even more, and put everything that he might need there. He can build towns. He can build a city in there. If he needs a bank, he has a bank. He has constructed it. So that's kind of like the dream I have, to have something like that, because we don't have it in Uganda anywhere. So that's why we have, like, if I need to shoot something and I need an I need an upper class home, I'll have to go to an upper class home owner and then hire that from him. So omuntu inconveniencing ajja kuyampa emitwalo 8 olunaku, because akimanyi bw'omuwa emitwalo 8 bw'akwata family ye n'abaako wagiteeka for like the 3 days you're going to rent, and he's spending like the 800, so nga togenda mu million 3 n'engana ekitundu, okitegeera. So it's important for us to understand why it's important to follow our gut. Can so make comments and then in concluding the topic here. Don't forget to like the broadcast. Atha siri mubede, Dr. Ranga yembede. Na jeke, anti kati kufe, nze wendi jeke amazima gali nti oli mubede. Wendi oli mubede. Era abantu banji webali abali ku broadcast oli mubede. Obubede, it depends on where you are. Ka Dr. Ranga asobola kuba mubede. Ne kati nawe oli mubede. Good morning, Arthur and everyone. Good morning, Brian. Benjamin B. The original meeting is your digestive system. Exactly. Thank you. Good, Dr. Ranga. Morning, Juma. Arthur Olimuka. But all I thought about you is really true. At one point of time, you were blessed. Yes, everyone has a blessing, by the way. Everyone has a blessing. And the thing we need to realize is that if you have been blessed, you should also become a blessing to other people. One of the reasons I'm in Kampala today, I have all the opportunity to go and live abroad, but one of the reasons I'm in Kampala is because I was blessed. And I believe that you can be a blessing in your country as well. And I'm sure it's the same reason why JK wants to come back in Kampala. It's the same reason why Dr. Ranga came back in Kampala. It's Wobanga mukama kwatiddeko n'obaako wootuka. It's important that you help other people also get to somewhere. Wekitegeera nti bw'ojja, like, you can keep dreaming because your dreams can help other people move forward. Ochega, that's one thing we are talking about yesterday, that abantu abali selfish tebatera kufa kubalala. That's why I was telling you that this country, NNCF, it can only develop if we come and actually do something about it. Ochitegeera. So, Dr. Ranga yanzizemu wano. Gut feeling is like intuition or inner voice. It's more of an unconscious feeling about things or people. And then, Dr. Ranga, how come that majority of the time the gut feeling is true? Dr. Chiwanuka is saying I was in S5 in 2003. Nkadiye. Dr. Jonathan, katora bantu okadiye. Ate bwe mbalaba nguma nenganga nchali mutototo. Okitegera naye ate, when I look at the people I'm working with, because I'm working with the younger people right now, I think the oldest people I'm working with, baringa 20, I have a 30-year-old, I think. So mba musingake emyaka 3. Ochegera, but you realize that there are people that are younger than me that I look at and I say, oh, they are young. But normally I tell them, I used to be your age and I used to think people that were older than me were very old. So you need to know that in about 3 years, you'll be my age. So start making cautious decisions to actually move yourselves. I have a lot to share, but nangi, ndikubala. Because the digestive system communicates to the brain. True. By the way, gut feeling is more like your brain using past experiences and cues around you to make an opinion. Often it's biased and not objective though. Yes, Dr. Ranga, but there is a decision jengendo bagamba. I did not really follow past experience. I had no information at all. In a way I looked at figures. And the figures kind of did not make sense at the time. It was really expensive. It was the reason why I'm telling you guys, Banange Mulabe Cafe, share the cafe, let people watch the cafe so that I get asked for more episodes. Why? I did not make any money off the episodes that are being watched because I invested. My tuition has always paid dividends whenever I followed it. Thank you, JK. Yes, I think it's better to first make a collection of assessments, calculations, and gather enough information about something. Then finally, you use your gut. You use your gut. You can't base all decisions on just your gut. Sometimes you do. I'll give you an example. There is a time I got a loan. Yali loan nene. Yali $1 million. At that time, 15 million was too much. 2012. And at that, I'm passionate about cars. In 2012, I had my Chibina. And in 2012, my first instinct was Arthur Subola Toyota Nuwa. Because the Nuwas, temulaba Nuwa nzi million asatu Nuwa empia at that time yalinga million 13. So my intuition was telling me we were million 15 osubule Nuwa million 13 ojitunde 15. Like ngabo ojigula online via like bazita what is the website. Be forward. That was my first instinct. But trust me, I asked people, and that's how I ended up starting a band. Because everyone saw me singing, they thought, oh, you can do a band, you can do very well with a band. That's how I ended up starting a band. My intuition was Gure Motoka. Trust me, guys. Of course, my life would have gone totally different way if I had gone that angle. But trust me, if I had gotten the Noah, I would have continued on the path that I am on right now, and probably I would have seen success much earlier. But still, I'm still struggling to see success because I took a different path. That's how I end up. But the band was one of the worst decisions I've ever made. I'm telling you, it's one of the worst, totally worst decisions I've ever made. And trust me, there's so many people that have started bands that will also tell you the same thing, like it's the worst decision they have ever made. But it just means. But if you just mean gut as a scientific term, that's the digestive tract, or in layman terms. And yes, it's theorized that gut physiology can influence how our brains subconsciously work and think. Oh, I'm going to enjoy my conversation with Dr. Ranga. But now, guys, I'm posting. I'm going to have that post where you guys can go and post your question for Dr. Ranga. So Dr. Ranga now jagenda mu community tab or questions ababan so that you get ready for them. Nange njakubang posting my own questions so that by the time you come to the podcast, we actually have an engaging conversation where I see quarter off guard and all that. Of course, I'll get you off guard sometimes. Also, in some circles, it's thought that gut feeling is an evolutionary trait as humans, a protective factor that in a way enables continuation of our species. So, jagala basibula kansoke nsome n'amanya ndyoke mbawe why I came up with the issue of us following our gut. Joshua Mugalasi, thank you very much for being here. Africa Karota, Mutumba Pade, Moses Heath, Karim, Saidi Mokose, JK, Salmin, Isaac Luirika, Oyo Savea, Modric, Hashim, Vincent Ongaba, Deepin Coffee, Pius Lubowa, Harbat, So Trending UG, Lubura Chris Fitness, Yusuf Suleiman, Kamia Edward, Charles Nkugwa, Tusime Eddie, Derek Lule, Abibu Kenya, Brian Wanyama, Karim, Derek Lule, Isaac Mink Makubo ya Isaac Mink boba somera mbisera byange ngotidde kwogera myaka jo mituvu ndoza bobera wali myaka jango jukira miti ya Trinity College nga tuba batula sana nali samba mpira, but I remember people telling us that we won Royal Giant. Council Patrick Asiku Oyolo yali iganga. If you are in the eastern part of the country and you want legal advice, that's the man. Modric Thomas Ainebiona, Hanaba Joshua, Joema Tourism, Phantom Soldier, Jombwe Juma, Moses Heath, Pablo Henry, Bella, yes, Muroza Sibamaze, you know. Kasawa Joffrey, Solo Extra, Brian Bwire, Dr. Jonathan Chiwanuka, Mbamazeyo. JK is saying, I invested in a dancing crew and I don't want to remember how much money I wasted back then in 2004. Exactly. I think everyone kind of relates when they say, I invested in this, I invested in that, I invested in this. Probably you invested in a dancing crew because you were a good dancer. So you thought, okay, now if I put money here, like that's how I ended up, like everyone was telling me invest in the band. Like they were saying, okay, if you import a car from Japan, Mombasa, stuff like that. There were so many, but me, my gut was telling me, invest in a car. That's how far my love for cars comes. James Arthur, about the past decision, it's what makes you. I saw a story on YouTube and how these band guys make so much money. 3 million per session. Dr. Jonathan, when I was starting a band, that's what I had in mind. 3 million. 3 what? But let me tell you, in the entertainment industry, this is what happens. It's like a curve. I teach it in my digital marketing class. It's a curve. You start from 0 As time goes on, you also grow, and then you go. There was a time where there were bands like Zauka. A friend of mine was part of Zauka. He's actually the guy that used to write music for me. He was in Zauka, and Zauka was at the peak. Then Zauka went. That's how all these bands are going to go down. There was a time when Jakaki band was there. So at every one time, there is a band that is making a lot of money. There is a band that is not making money. And at every one time, the owner is not making money. It's the players that are making money. So the players keep moving from one band to another. Janzi band. Mumuloza Janzi band yechariyo. So, So at any one time, there is a band that is making a lot of money. And it's not all bands. So my band never got to the point where it was the band making money. I think I just never waited, or I just never invested a lot enough and all that. Prince Angel, good morning. Royal Giant was my school, by the way. Dr. Chwanuka twaba baturanga. Boba Royal Giant wasomera senior 5. Katenza boba senior 6 wajimaira ku Royal Giant. Kati Mitiana Trinity College yakwatira mu 2 ena. Fetu ayingira Mitiana Trinity College abana abali abanje omwali yatolokane mu komera. Omwana bamusibe mu komera lye Mitiana na atolokayo. Yabuka kikomera yakubas yali abantu mta pastor. Yabuka komera yakubechi naduka na atolokayo. Anyway guys, why do I now believe that the gut is important? So when we are producing the cafe, we spent some money, a lot of money in we spent a lot of money when we were shooting the pilot. A lot. Sinazi jayo nazo, by the way. So but it's okay, because me, one thing I've realized is I've lost much more money than if I lose any money with the cafe. I've lost much more money than that. So but botwalinga tuli ku location utwa shooting ita, there were a lot of inconvenience. Twagala location kusawe no one tukolera sawa zino tukola bichi. So when finally the team reached out and bagamba, we want to buy your show, we need you to shoot this number of episodes and submit. My first instinct was, where can I borrow a lot of money and build my own studio? Now talk to anyone else, and the amount of money I borrowed, which I've paid, by the way, now I've paid it back. Kati indimu kebe sina de chikumi, but I've paid all my loans. I've paid all my actors. I've paid all the crew, and sina banja ku cafe. Zenateka muze zenafidwa zali zange, but sina banja. But when we were told that, okay, you produce work, my first instinct was, I need to get money and build my own studio so that I don't get inconvenienced. So I borrowed a lot of money. I worked on that studio. It's not in the perfect condition, but it was a prototype. And for me, it was like how science has, mukola research. So I invested all this money. I built this thing. I bought whatever I needed to buy, and the studio was alive. And then we shot. Along the way, after shooting all this work, they tell us you have to repeat 21 episodes. You can imagine you have submitted 26 episodes and they tell you have to repeat 21 episodes. That's technical. Why we'd have to do that? So we had to shoot again. Now imagine you have shot all this work from a location, Nemuvayo, location Nebajichusa, and then you have to go back and shoot that work in a location that looks like that. What saved us was that our studio was there. It was not tampered with. Gaborichimuchiri intact, because it was studio made for the cafe. So we went back and shot the work, and within a week we were done and resubmitted, and the work was accepted. Now, I'm thinking to myself, if I hadn't constructed that, because at the time when Naringa Ngamba Bantungenda Kuzimba set, nobody bought the idea. Of course, my close people, Bentero Kola Nabo, they bought the idea because they know that when Arthur wants something, they definitely do it. So we built that studio. And it's one of the best decisions I've ever made. Of course, it was based off how much did I hire the location when I was shooting the pilot. If I'm going to shoot for like now 12 days. Now imagine if I was hiring a place in Abansa Mitwaro Chinana every day. Because we shot the first session shooting and shooting in Naku Kuminabidi. How much is that? That's about 10 million. 9 point something or 10 million, right? Or even more. Kunaku Kuminameka Kuminabidi. And if you invest this money, or even more, because I invested more than that in building the studio, if now I have to shoot the cafe again, if they ask for more work, I don't need a location. I have a location. I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying, but it was me following my gut. My gut told me we already sent and I borrowed that money. It was a huge sum of money. I borrowed the money. I put that thing there. I put everything else that facilitates this studio to stand. It stood. It was my gut. Now yesterday we had a meeting at Tunonya location you're shooting what we're going to shoot now, and they're asking for 800,000 and they're not negotiating. They're even telling us and at any location you must have confirming the location scout has to go and see if it's there. And I was thinking to myself, my God, it was like the best decision I've ever made. And then my dream is to create something like what Tyra Perry has, a studio. Like you can, even if it's not 100 acres, you can have like an acre of land where you can play around with stuff, build. We need a train station, we build a train station. We need a hospital, we build a hospital. We need this, you build it. So that's a dream that I have. And I don't know how long it will take me to fulfill this, but it's something that I have. Watch together. So ani Chris Fitness yabadabuza and I sent a muzijayo. Business people don't get their money immediately. Like every business, normally businesses break even in 5 years. Now in film it might be different. Watch together. In film it might be like with the cafe I've not broken even. Watch together. But there are people that who come never goes after yako the sente. Actually there's someone that one of my followers we have a cafe ku DSTV na ata mpaku sente za cafe. Watch together. But I've nzenga ata sinda zidi yako. Watch together. But that's something that of course kati boiga how businesses are run, then you learn that sometimes businesses take long time to break even. Sometimes businesses break even in like 10 years. Some businesses don't even break even. Like Mamulo was by Vodafone. Mulo was a Vodafone broke even. Vodafone ya got even breaking even. Mulo was a Warid Telecom broke even. Baji Tunanga they have not broken even. But it's just that sometimes when you learn how businesses are run, and that's one thing I appreciate about going back to school. So all these are things that I learned along the way. Then, but anyway, guys, follow your gut. Dr. Rango read out to Gabi. These people have confirmed that the gut helps us survive as a human, as a species. So I'm going to post right now. I'm going to post so that you guys can go and post your question for Dr. Ranga. Question to do with mental health, question to do with your psychology, question to do with coping with stress, questions that have to do with the mind. Because Dr. Ranga is a psychiatrist. Yeah. And I'm going to host him. He's going to be my first guest on the podcast. May God bless you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Saith, good morning. Africa has been around and successful. Saith, I can tell you that if you went to the members of Afrigo Band, you will know that success is not always what we see. At the industry in Kubulida, Afrigo has been around, but it's around because of the legacy. The band is a brand. Brands can survive without making money. But I'm not saying Afrigo doesn't make money, but say if you went and looked closely at Afrigo, you would know what I'm talking about. Watch together. Naenga mukama aba omukisa bagayi. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Question Friday, guys. May God bless you. Ciao.